And welcome. Today in this video I will be demonstrating how to configure a default route using the Cisco command line interface. The programs I'm going to be running and using today are Cam Studio, which is a free download and a free program that allows me to record screen movements. The second program I'm going to be using is Cisco Packet Tracer, offered by the Cisco Net Academy. That's a really cool program that allows you to set up a virtual network and configure things like switches, servers, routers, and PCs to create a virtual network. To give you a better idea as to what a default route is, what a router does is it forwards packets from one network to another based on whatever the destination IP address is within that packet, and then after that it examines the routing table to basically determine where those packets are going, or where to forward the packets to reach the destination network. What happens is if the router doesn't have a route to a specific network in its routing table, a default route can then be configured to basically tell the router how to forward the packet. The default route is used on a router only if the router does not know where to send a packet. Most of the time the default route is going to point to the next hop router on the path to the internet, and then the information that's needed to configure the default route is the IP address of the next hop router, or the interface that the router uses to forward traffic with an unknown destination network. And that's just a quick recap on that. To get started, as you can see here, I got Packet Tracer open already. And the first thing we're going to want to do is use the ping command within the global configuration setting. I'll explain how to do that in a second. But the first thing we're going to want to do is use the ping command to verify if the local area network address of the ISP, which should be right here. As you can see here, you might have to look kind of carefully. It says fast Ethernet 0/0 is up, and then the IP address for the LAN, the local area network, is the 209.165.201.1. So we're going to ping that IP address here in just a second. So what we're going to do is left click on customer PC, and then we're going to open up a terminal. As a side note here, most, if not all, Cisco devices use the same basic command lines, and as long as you have a terminal such as HyperTerminal installed on a PC, you should be able to access that operating system or the command line interface. So we'll open up the terminal, click return to get started. I'll enter my password here if I can remember it. There we go. This mode right here is user executive mode. I've explained a little bit about this on my previous videos. What this mode allows you to do is it basically allows you to see how the device is functioning. Other than that, there really isn't much to this mode. You can use the ping command in this mode. If you hit the question mark, there's all the things right there that you can do. You can show the running information. You can use the ping, and the trace route commands. But as far as configuring different interfaces, banners, adding passwords, you're going to want to be either in privileged exec mode or in global mode most of the time. So this mode isn't really used for a whole lot. To get into or enter privileged exec mode, you would want to type in enable, or EN for short. And I'll have to enter my password for that, which I think is okay. And then let's see, I might have to be in global for this, I'm not sure. Let's try pinging the IP address of the local area network address of the ISP router. So we'll go ping 209 dot 165 dot 201 dot 1. Okay, that's interesting. I might have already done this. Let me close out of this really quick and restart. Let me reopen this, because the package should not be working, but I actually did the particular activity before I recorded it, and that might be why we're actually working. Let's try this again. We'll go into the terminal again. Whoops. Hit enter, password. Okay, so there's user exec mode like I was talking about. We'll type in en. And now we can try ping 209.165.201.1. Again, that's the IP address of the local area network of the ISP router. And this time it actually should not work. This process does take a little bit of time. Okay, there it goes. The success rate is 0%. So we're going to need a default route in order to send packets from the customer PC and the customer network over to the ISP. And to do this, we are going to need to be in global configuration mode. And to enter global configuration mode, we can type in conft, and that stands for configure terminal. You can actually type out configure terminal if you wish. And here we are in global configuration mode. And now we are going to want to set a default route. And to do that, we'll type in IP space route space 0.0.0.0 space 0.0.0.0. And then we'll enter the IP address of the local area network of the ISP. Again, that was 209.165.201.1. Okay. And now we can type end to get out of global, and now we're back in privileged mode. And now what we are going to do is verify the default route by typing show IP route, and that basically lists the IP routing table. And here we have the local area network address is subnetted and is directly connected to the serial ports. Everything's up and running, it looks like. And now we can use the ping command to verify connectivity to the local area network IP address on the ISP router by doing the same command we did before, ping 209.165.201.1. And this time, hopefully it should work if we did everything right. Let's try something else here. Sorry, give me just a second. That's really, really weird. Wait, ping 209.165.201.1. I'm not not exactly sure where I messed up here, but something's not right. Route 0. That's really odd. Let me go back and redo this really quickly. I'll just run through this, and hopefully it works this time. Alright. Hopefully we can get back to this. So IP route 234, and then 209.165.200.226. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. There we go. It should work this time. I'm not sure exactly what happened the last time, but let's try this again. Verifying the default route. Show IP route like I did before. Directly connected. Okay, the local area network is connected to the serial interface. Looks like everything's up and running now. Let's try it. Ping 209.165.201.1. There we go. And now we can do a copy run start. And what this means is it takes the running commands and copies it over to basically kind of a, not really a hard drive, but what happens is if you don't do that command, after you shut the router off, you're going to lose everything that you just did, all the configuration settings. So you want to be sure copy run start is a really important command to use so you don't lose that configuration, and if something happens you can revert back to it to see all the commands that you've entered and all configuration changes that you've done to the router. That concludes my video, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. I do sincerely apologize for the inconvenience on me having to go back in there. Again, this is something that I'm just starting out learning. I will admit that. If this video doesn't make sense to you guys, don't worry. I mean, don't stress out. There's a lot of resources out there like Google. Do research. Research is a really important key to have when studying and when getting into this field. Or you can watch this video over again. Or if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I would be more than happy to help you out as best as I can. Thank you for watching this video.